Year 2, it's Miss Begum here. This video is to help you with your story writing. Before I start, I just want to say thank you to everyone who's been sending in their work. Mrs. Hines and I are so proud of you for taking time out and doing a bit of work. Now remember, we don't expect you to be doing loads, and even if you do 1 hour a day, that's good enough. Now, this week, we'd like you to write a story based on the picture that you can see below. We would also like you to add adverbs in your work. Now, so let's remind ourselves of what an adverb is. An adverb is a word that describes a verb. So that means it's showing us how something is happening or how someone is doing something, because remember, a verb is an action word. For example, the boy ran quickly. Ran is the verb, quickly is the adverb. It's telling us how he ran. So he ran really quickly. Next, the waves crashed loudly. Crashed is the verb, loudly is how they crashed. So that's describing the sound. And then the musician played the flute beautifully. Verb is played, and how he played was beautifully. And then we've got she greedily ate the cake. Ate is the verb. Greedily is describing how she ate it, so she ate it very greedily. Sometimes you can put the adverb before the verb, and other times you might want to put it after the verb. Read the sentence and you can decide. So here you can pause the video and have a go at adding adverbs to these sentences. I've put a few adverbs at the bottom for you to choose the appropriate one that makes sense in the sentence. So have a go. Now, to help you with your writing, I'd like to remind you of the 5 parts in a story. So this structure will help you to plan the events and then write your story. Let's have a look. First, we have the opening. This is where we introduce the main character and the setting, which is where your story is going to take place. We meet that character, remember, so you're going to describe that character here. For example, if you think about the little pigs, the 3 little pigs, we meet 3 little pigs in this opening and where they're from, the fact that they live with their mum. Next, we have the build-up. So this is where something new happens. This is where it might be one day, it might be one afternoon, it might be in summer. So it's when something begins to happen. Like in the little pigs, mum decides that the pigs need to become independent, and she asks them to go and live their lives. Next, we have the 3rd part of the story, which I love. It's the problem. Here, something goes wrong. Something causes a problem. This is the main part of the story, and we usually have loads of details here. Try and get all of that. Those adverbs, because it's action-packed, is the problem. Like in the little pigs, the wolf spots them and he wants them. He's after those pigs, isn't he? That's the problem. Next, you have the resolution. Here is where our main characters come up with a good idea, or they find a way to solve that problem. So in the little pigs, for example, is where the pigs have the great idea to work together and they trick the wolf. Finally, you have your ending. Now, this is what happens once the problem has been solved and there's no longer an issue. So little pigs again, example, it's when they decide to live together and they build a house. You might add some feeling there. They might feel proud. Usually the ending is just one sentence to just round everything up. Use this structure to plan your story. I've not included any of my own ideas because I think you can use your ideas from that picture. You decide the character. The setting, however, has been given in that picture, I think. But you can decide everything else. Remember where your expanded noun phrases are going to go, where you want to put your adverbs in. Again, note it down in a structure like this and it'll help you. If you want to do the boxes like we did last week, just go back onto that video and take the box idea as well. So finally, what to remember for a successful piece of writing. What we need to do is make sure that we're remembering all those basic skills when we write our story. So I'd like you to follow a success criteria. And I know you're really good at following success criteria. So here we go. The first thing is use capital letters and full stops correctly. So remember, capital letters at the beginning of your sentence and full stop at the end. Also remember to use capital letters for any character names or any place names that you have. Next, use different conjunctions. So I'd like you to try and use a variety, maybe but, so, and, if, because, when, and any other ones that you might want to include. Remember, sentences that use conjunctions can be really interesting for the reader, but we might also want to have a few simple sentences. Next, use expanded noun phrases to describe. Now, you did this last week with your setting description, so you got lots of practice. So when you're describing your characters, make sure you try and use some expanded noun phrases again, just to keep that imagination going for that reader to really imagine themselves in that place, feeling what the characters feel as well. And then finally, I'd like you to use your adverbs, and I've explained what adverbs are, and I think adverbs in this story will be great because we're going to meet your characters, and I think it'll be nice for us to know how your characters are doing things. So think about that. When your character does something, maybe you can add an adverb, okay? So they're the 4 things I'd like you to focus on. And so have a go, plan, write, check, and email it into homework@newbie.bradford.sch.uk. I really look forward to reading them. Bye!